We talked about my spiritual journey. Let's talk about yours. Your spiritual journey. When you first start out, it may seem dark. You may wake up one day and everything's all black, and you just don't know what happened, and you were dreaming all along. Wake up in a strange place. Go home, maggot brain. Head home. If you know what home is. If you know what home is. Never forget your roots. Your roots are so important. So important. Always remember your roots and keep your feet planted. Make sure you stay planted. You stay on firm ground. Make sure you stay firm, like connected to your roots. And then as you go on, realize that you are going in certain patterns. You're going around in like certain patterns, and certain patterns keep coming up and you don't know why. And you keep forgetting certain things. And you realize that you are forgetting, and then that not only are you forgetting, it's important stuff, like important to you, like more important than you may realize initially. But as you go on your journey is about you. Always remember, your journey is about you. As you notice that 222, you have these patterns and they're weighing you down. You don't know why. You can't really figure out why they're wearing you down, or why you have these certain patterns, or why you do the things that you do, or why certain things seem to happen to you, and why did you forget certain things, and why are you here? Why are you here in this position? Why are you doing this? Why did this happen to you? Why? It's the question that drives us in the matrix, my tricks. See, you may be heavy, you may be unbalanced, one side heavier than the other. In this lifetime, you might be lighter, but you don't realize it yet. Realize that you are unbalanced.
333.
You may go on with this imbalance for longer than you know. Breathe. Breathe. You inhale. Then you exhale. Rise. Going higher. Walking around, you notice the garden. And in this garden, there's certain things growing. You don't know what these things are, but you stop because they are appealing to your eye. They are drawing you in. They are you. But you see them as separate from you, outside of you, but they are inside of you. You walk around this garden, getting lost in this garden. And as you walk around this garden, you notice that the sun is out. You stare at the sun for a little while. A few seconds at first. A few seconds turns to minutes, hours, thinking about the sun. Sunrise, sunset. You start at the sunset. Mufasa, Simba just can't wait to be king. But Simba must remember one thing. He must put Pride Rock aside. He must put Pride Rock aside, blocking his way. Still his way. A way he must go. But he must put Pride Rock aside. And as you go chasing the sun, chasing the sunset. You notice that the sunset set becomes sunrise. You continue to walk, watching the sunrise. You reach this bridge, and there's water under this bridge. Under this bridge, there's water. Narrow bridge. There's water under this narrow bridge that you must cross to continue on your journey. As you cross this bridge, you notice that the bridge is kind of old, kind of shaky. But you don't fall. You start to remember things, you start to see things differently than you see or saw than before. When the sun set, your time, past time, it's been past time for you to cross over this bridge. You discover that love is what's driving you as you watch the sun on the other side of the bridge. Now as it rises, it's in the sky, high above you. You don't forget the sun, but you don't focus on the sun anymore. Focus on the bridge, crossing the bridge, because the bridge is it's a part of your journey. And the sun is over your head, but eventually the sun is behind you. Now you are on this long bridge as the sun slowly gets behind you on this bridge. You can see your shadow in front of you walking on this bridge, this old narrow bridge. But it seems like with every step, even though you can see your shadow, you create a new path with every step. Not judging your shadow, but watching it, seeing it for what it is, you, in a different light. You standing in the light, looking at your shadow walk before you. You didn't notice that you had the shadow when you started your journey on this bridge. This journey home. And as your shadow is before you, focus on the shadow. You start to look up and notice that you're surrounded by water, but also slightly on your path on this bridge, because you haven't reached it yet. But you know love is driving you, so you get closer and closer to this greenery. As you get closer to it, you stop, you notice it, you admire it for a little while. You take a bit of it in, breathing. You notice that your breath is a little bit lighter. 11. You enjoy it, and you take it in because it's fresh air that you haven't breathed before. You don't know why, but this air is everything that you've needed for so long, longer than you know, longer than you could remember. You started to remember as soon as you got to the bridge. As soon as you noticed your shadow, you started to remember. You started to uncover. You started to see things in a different light. And your heart was driving you from that point on. Once you got across this bridge, because you have now walked your last step on this bridge, you start to see the ethers, ancestors, ethers in the sky, because at this point, the sun has set. But you didn't watch the sunset this time. 12:12. You were on your journey. You kept going. Not only did you keep going, you started to see different things. You started to appreciate darkness, but you didn't see it as darkness, because as you were on your journey, you noticed that the sky has stars in it. More stars than you can count. Not stars in the sense of celebrity, but in the sense of constellation, in a constant conversation, because it's all about communication. Do you hear me? Can you hear me? I had to clear my throat. Ears open now. But you kept going. You started noticing that there were signs everywhere. You noticed these signs before, but they now have new meaning. You see these signs everywhere. You've seen these signs everywhere on your journey. Once you noticed that you were on your journey, and once you noticed that there were certain patterns, and once you noticed that these patterns weren't things to be afraid of, once you realized that you had the courage of a lion, but the humility of a lamb, you noticed that these signs meant more than you once thought when you started your journey. You gain a new appreciation for these signs. Signs everywhere. Voices from nowhere. Speaking from everywhere to everyone. From everyone. You are one. 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 With everyone. Can you hear me? Are you looking at the signs? The signs. Signs. Science. Science. Real. I am real. You've reached the cathedral. Open up those windows. You've reached the cathedral. Stained glass windows, clean them. Open up your eyes, windows to the soul. Sit on your throne, wear your crown. You've made it home. You've made it home.